Om Shanti. Today Baba talks about having love for Baba. Somewhere in the middle of the Murli, he is talking about having love for Baba, and Baba says that in bhakti also, people remember him, but they don't have love for Baba. But here also there are some children who don't have love for Baba. And I think that there is a difference between big difference between bhakti and gyan. So I think in yesterday's Murli or day before yesterday's, Baba said that people in bhakti also are afraid of bad karma. Yes, but they are not in love with Baba. So there is a difference. So even when we are afraid of the consequences of bad karma, sometimes you pay attention to karma. But here it is not just about karma. It is about love for Baba. Because it is not just about not doing the wrong thing. It's also about doing a lot for world transformation. And in my experience, love is the only power that can make you surpass what you think is your limitation. So sometimes you think that I can only do this much. But then when you are in love, you are able to do more than you think you can do. And when you do it for a human, then you get hurt, and the next time you are incapable of doing what you were capable of doing the first time also. But for love of Baba, if I'm really in love with Baba and I understand Baba's love, and that love is able to invoke that love in me for Baba, then this whole process of self-transformation and surpassing what you think is your limitation starts. And the main difference between Gyan and Bhakti is also this, that sometimes in Bhakti also you do a lot of things because you are afraid of bad karma, or you are basically disciplined, or you have fear of consequences of bad karma. So sometimes it is discipline, sometimes it is fear, sometimes it is something else that drives your good karma in bhakti also. But here Baba says that it is love for Baba that drives your actions. And only when actions are based on, they emerge from this deep sense of love for Baba, can you sustainedly follow Srimad. So come what may, you will be able to follow Srimad, because then your actions do not depend on the result of it. They just depend on the fact that you love Baba and Baba said so, so you are doing so. Yes, so let's take a very simple example. Baba says that if you give if you give knowledge to somebody, then it will benefit them. Yes. But then Baba says that it is my Srimad that you give knowledge to everybody, right? Now, if I shared something with somebody, because it is Srimad and I love Baba, and for the love of Baba I do it, then even when I cannot see any obvious changes in them, or even when I see that, when I cannot see, because of course when Baba says that knowledge transforms, it must be doing its work, but when I can't see anything obvious about it, still I will be very happy because I followed Srimad, because I did it for the love of Baba. But if I have no love for Baba, but I am doing it because of understanding that this is good karma, then sometimes I will wait for the result and I will try to figure out what that action of mine has done to the person. And if that action doesn't seem to have any obvious result, then I will be disheartened. So there is a lot of difference between doing things even based on karmic philosophy. So sometimes even when you think that I'm doing this because this is good karma, it's not a very good idea, because when you think about good karma, you will also think about result. And the result of karma is not always immediate. It is short term, it is middle term, it is immediate, it is long term. There are many kinds of, ways in which karma works out. So Baba says that, and then when we do it for the wrong reason, when we follow Srimad for the wrong reason. So yes, it is true that Srimad is based on karmic philosophy, and whatever Baba tells you to do is the good thing to do, and it is going to give you a good result. But then if you do it based on that understanding and not for love for Baba, then probably you will get disheartened when something will yield result in the long term and not immediately. So the only way to be, to take inheritance from Baba is to have love for Baba. And in that love, do everything that Baba says just for the love of Baba. And how do you have love for Baba? So love is first based on recognition. So when you recognize that I am a soul and this is my Baba, that is the beginning of, so when a child is introduced, this is your father, the child instantly has love for the father, right? So it doesn't require anything else. It just requires that recognition. And all through bhakti for 2500 years, we did not recognize God as my father. So there was no feeling of this is my father in bhakti. And now this recognition has to be brought. And I don't know how many of you recognize Baba and how many of you don't. So I share everything for everybody. So Baba says that, and how do you recognize this is Baba? So you see that you have to see the amount of sustenance we are receiving from Baba. You just look at Baba, he left his Param Dham, sweet silence, pure home, and he has come and he is sitting in this old impure world and sustaining us with love and knowledge and strength and everything. So do you not recognize who else would do this for you except the Father? Yes, so there is nobody else who would take up this responsibility. And Baba in the Murli says that, just like a parent has a natural sense of responsibility that they have to take care of the child. So now Baba has come with that sense of responsibility. He's taking care of the whole humanity. And that's how you recognize this is my parent. And this ability to recognize is a dying virtue. Like, we don't have that ability these days. Yes, so these days, have you seen that when you are in an office and somebody is silently working, he's not recognized. And then somebody who is jumping up and down all day telling, I'm working, I'm doing so much, they are recognized a lot. And then even in a family setting, you see that you don't recognize small acts. So when somebody is taking care of you from the heart, sometimes you don't recognize. You only recognize somebody who is making a facade of, taking care of you, rather than somebody who's genuinely taking care of you. So I think that this ability to recognize love is not there these days. And if you, only a pure and clean heart can recognize that sustenance and love from Baba. And just think about it. Where were we when Baba adopted us? And look at the kind of sustenance he has given, and look at where he has brought us and who he is making us into. And this is how you recognize your parent. This is how you recognize your teacher and Satguru. And Baba says, I am your father, teacher and Satguru, and you are a soul. And when you recognize that, you have deep love for Baba. And in that love, you understand that Baba's Shrimat is for my well-being. And you understand that it is my duty to follow Shrimat. It's not just through understanding the power and the benefit of Shrimat. And I underline this, you don't have to do everything to follow Shrimat for the benefit of Shrimat, because the benefit may be long term. But in order to, continue following Shrimat to the long term, you must have love for Baba. And when you follow Shrimat for the love for Baba, then eventually you will see the benefit. But if you follow it for the benefit of Shrimat, then you will start always gauging whether you had the benefit or not the benefit. So let's say, sometimes people think that when you wake up in Amrit Vela, then you will have a very good experience with Baba. Yes, so, and we sometimes do, but then maybe that experience doesn't come every day. Yes, but then do you wake up otherwise for something? Like if your child goes to school at 6 a.m. and you wake up at 5 for the child, then you wake up for the love of the child. And it could be, you're feverish, you're whatever, but then that love makes you wake up. So you know that Baba is waiting for you at 4 a.m. Baba has told you that is my meeting time. And for the love of Baba, you get up at 4. For the love of Baba, you sit with him and you have this sweet exchange, heart-to-heart exchange with Baba. So I think that the main difference between Bhakti and Gyan is in Bhakti, benefit, fear, discipline, all of this dictates our actions, or that is the motivation behind our actions. Maybe good karma also, but then here the motivation behind our actions is love for Baba. In yesterday's Murli also Baba said this, that people in Bhakti do it for the fear of consequences, but here you do it for the love of Baba, and this is very important. And if I'm not doing it for the love of Baba, but for some other reason, then it cannot continue very long. So because if the reason is not right, then it is not true, the path is not true, and where there is falsehood, Maya will make an entry. So that's also something I need to understand. And as much as you reflect on who are you and who is taking care of you, that love will emerge, and the soul knows that in this time it is only Baba who is taking care of me. So maybe the body is taken care of by many, but then I, the soul, am only being sustained by Baba. And you can see Baba's love in that. So this is something I wanted to talk about. Then Baba talks about today, remembering Baba, becoming pure, becoming karmatit in order to go back home. Now we need to understand something here, that we are in our 84th birth, and 63 births there have been, lot of pap karma, vikarma, and all those things are coming for settlement at this time. This is the time of settlement. Can you see that this is the time of settlement? You have 100 problems in one day. Sometimes your body is aching, sometimes you have a bad throat, sometimes your eyes are not, they are not helping you in the right way. There is 100 things going on in the body. There are 100 things going on in finances. There are lots of uncertainties. There are behaviors which you didn't expect even in a dream. So a lot of things are happening every day. And every day it's a new, menu dished out to you. And then Baba says that the only way you will deal with it, if you do not have enough yoga power, is by reacting to them. Yes, if you don't have enough yoga power, if you are not, if you're not drawing your strength enough from Baba, then the only way you will deal with these things is by reacting to them and creating another bad karma. Yes, and I tell you, sometimes when you react to something, it goes away. Yes, doesn't it? Sometimes it happens, like somebody behaves badly, you shout at them, scream at them, and then it's all over. And then they also, they also like step back. But then what happened is, Maya tricked you into creating a bad karma. And then what about your personal karmic account? It is minus, minus, minus. So this is what is happening. And it's not about dealing with the situation, because any situation, whether it is physical, it is behavioral, it is financial, you can deal with it in many ways. But the way you dealt it with determines your karma that you created in that situation. And if you deal with it in any way, ultimately the situation will go away, because that's the nature of a situation. It comes, it persists for a while, and then it leaves. Does any situation stay with you always? No. Every situation, whether it is an ailment, whether it is a relationship issue, whether it is a financial issue, whether it is anything on earth, it comes, even if it's a war, even if it's something else, it comes, it persists for a while, it leaves. And then how you are while it is there determines your personal karmic balance. And that's the catch. So you have to understand that nobody dies from any situation. And even if you die, you are a soul, you don't die. So even if you leave the body in a situation, doesn't matter. You will not die. The soul is eternal. No situation will make you perish. You will not perish. But only the karmic account, your credit and debit, your balance will change. And Baba says that this is the time when everything will come up for settlement. And if you don't pay attention to knowledge, if you don't develop enough yoga power, if you don't develop enough virtues, then you will react in different measures. Sometimes you will not do the needful, you will just step back. That's also not the right action, because if you don't do the needful and respond appropriately, then it will come again. You can delay the process, but that thing will come again. So Baba says that only when you have enough yoga power and you have developed your state of virtues, especially purity, patience, peace, you've developed yourself enough in those virtues and you have enough punya ka khata with you, then in the face of all these karmic settlements, you will be karmatit, which means you will respond appropriately. You will not create any negative karma in that situation, any wasteful karma in that situation. So karmatit doesn't mean you don't act. Karmatit means you do the right action in that situation, and then that action is not motivated by your emotions. It is motivated by your strong, powerful spiritual stage. And Baba says you have to do enough purusharth and build that karmatit stage. And only then will you be in a situation where when you leave the body, you don't have to experience punishment. You will leave the body and go with Baba and sit with Baba, and then as soon as the first lot comes in Satyug, you will be here. So this is why it is sometimes, people are very concerned about the situation. Whether it came, whether it is there, whether it is not there, whether it leaves. But you don't have to be concerned about the situation. You have to be concerned about how you are in the situation. Because that is what matters. Everything else is transient. You cannot put a finger on it, so why bother? So it's just how you are in that whole process, that which matters. And for that, you have to make effort. And only when you are in a good spiritual stage, which means yoga power, the power of virtues, the power of a state of knowledgefulness, self-awareness, awareness of the past, present and future and everything, only then can you respond appropriately. So that's what Baba is telling today. And then today Baba also tells us not to be disheartened. And Baba says that, Baba gives an example. Baba says, in a school, if a student says that he will not pass, everyone would say that he is dull-headed. Yes, so sensible children study very well and claim a high number. So there are many children who have very weak thoughts. You never think about being the heir to mama and baba's throne. So they always say, okay, we are just here, but I don't know, we are not here to be number one or something. We are just here, we are like, okay, we are baba's children and that's good enough. So that's not a good student. Do you like when a good student talks, when a student talks like this, this lack of hope and heart? You don't like this language from a student. So Baba says a student should have a good aim, that I want to be number one. I want to sit on mama and baba's throne. So that should be your aim. And I don't know, you see the mind plays so many games that, do you understand what you're dealing with? You're dealing with 63 births of Ravan sanskars that are sitting right inside you. And they are making you dance to that tune even when you don't know. And I will tell you, there is one sister and she wrote to me yesterday that, I did something against Shrimat and now I'm feeling so guilty that I won't come for Brahma Bhojan. So I was just wondering, you see, one thing is Maya made you do that thing. And now Maya has tricked you into not regaining strength also. And she also wrote that, I think I'm doing the right thing because I don't want to come and spoil the environment there. Now, Baba came and Baba has come from the soul world and he's sitting to create an environment where impure souls can take the strength to become pure. And you have taken up that responsibility on your shoulder, that because you are an impure soul, you will protect Baba's environment by staying out of it. So I don't understand the logic. And sometimes, all this ego inside us is turned against us. And the thing is, Ravan is cheating you through your ego. So what you think is, you're being very rightful and you're doing the right thing by not sabotaging the environment. Why don't you be a little selfish and think about, that you want to take benefit from the environment, from the atmosphere, from Baba's place, and just build your strength. You need it and Baba loves you for it. Baba has never told you that when you take something from me because you want to progress as a soul, that's selfishness. No, Baba has said that that's seva. Have you seen that? Baba has said that when you do something for self-progress, that's seva, that's swa-seva. So who told you all these things, that if you have made a mistake, you cannot come, you cannot draw strength, you are protecting Baba's atmosphere by staying out of it? No, that's not the right thing to think. And this is how Maya is cheating us. And sometimes, you say, I'm not good enough. Sometimes you say that I'm protecting Baba's home by staying out of it. Sometimes you say, I cannot. Sometimes you say that I don't have the time. All of that is Maya talking through you. So Baba says, don't create any weak thoughts. Just know that your father is here to give you the inheritance. You have the right and Baba is giving you the power also to take that inheritance. So just comply. Just do what Baba says. So this is also something. And today in the blessing, Baba is talking about contentment. And in yesterday's session, I was talking about this contentment always being confused with complacency. And sometimes people will say that because I don't need anything or I don't want anything, I'm not working for it. And they say that I'm very contented. Yes, so lazy people call themselves contented. But that's not contentment. So Baba has defined contentment. Let's hear that. At the confluence age, Bap Dada's special gift is contentment. A contented soul will experience any situation of upheaval as a puppet show. Nowadays, cartoon shows are in fashion. So whenever any situation arises, consider it to be a cartoon or puppet show taking place on the unlimited screen. So can you see that after your eyes there's an unlimited screen of the world? And in that there is a puppet show, cartoon show going all day. And Baba says that whenever any situation arises, consider it to be a cartoon or puppet show taking place on the unlimited screen. It is a show of Maya or matter. Whether someone or something is under the influence of vices, that is Maya. Otherwise, the 5 elements are showing you some show. Yes, there is an earthquake, there is a fire. So all that is the show of matter, which you just have to continue to watch while stabilized in the stage of a detached observer. Keep your dignity and remain content, and you will then be said to be a contented soul. So what is a contented soul? A contented soul is not someone who doesn't do any action. A contented soul is a soul who remains stable after performing every action despite any result. Okay, so contentment means you are very stable come what may. So you do your thing, you do your action, you do what Baba has told you, and then you become detached. Because you are so full inside, you are not expecting a result. So you do your action because that's Baba's Srimad, and you are not doing any action expecting a result. But you know that there will be a result because there has been an action. But you are not concerned about it. So that is contentment. Contentment doesn't mean you are not performing any action. Most people confuse this. Yes, that if I am not doing anything, I am very contented. But no. Contentment means you are doing your whatever you have to do, and then you are watching every result like you watch a show. And not only the result of your personal actions, but the result of the collective actions of humanity, which manifest themselves as the show of Maya or matter. So, there is some upheaval in the 5 elements of nature, or there is something coming your way which looks very driven by anger, ego, attachment, greed and lust. You watch everything in a very unaffected, stable detached state. That is the state of contentment. So are you contented that way? Or does Maya and matter disturb you? So you see that, but you watch movies, you watch shows, you watch news, documentaries, where all of that is happening. And you can watch it pretty detached. You are able to have a conversation about it also while watching it. Why? Because it's not about the fact that you're very sensitive, you can't watch all of that. If you couldn't, you would never ever open the internet or anything on the television, because all of that is full of the same stuff that you find so scary in your own life. But the difference is detachment. So when you understand that this is also a show, an unlimited show on an unlimited screen, and I am not here, my home is there, my Baba is there, my world is coming, and I am completely detached. When you have imbibed the knowledge and the virtues and the spiritual powers that Baba is giving you, then you can watch the show that is going on the unlimited screen in an equally detached fashion as you watch those other shows. Okay, so this is what something Baba is telling today. And then today Baba talks, there's Mama's Vani, and Mama is talking about giving your hand to Baba. Now, Mama says that children, since God Himself has come down on earth, we must truly give our hand to God. Okay? Now, what does giving your hand to God mean? It means that following Baba's Srimad is giving your hand to God. Have you seen that sometimes God is depicted without hands? So in Jagannath Puri, if you go, then He is shown without hands. Now, but they still put a figure, a shape, something they put up without hands, without legs. But Baba says, I'm Nirakar. I don't have any body. And I don't have a physical hand which you can hold. But the Srimad that I give you is my hand. And when you hold on to Srimad in all your actions, that's like holding Baba's hand. But Baba says, only a true and firm child can give his hand to Baba. But if you don't have honesty, that's why, I started this session today with the checking whether I have true love for Baba. Because if there is no honesty inside and there is no firm faith that this is my Baba and I am his child, then sometimes when you want something, you will follow Srimad. Sometimes when you're feeling weak, you will follow Srimad. Sometimes when you're afraid, you will follow Srimad. But not always. But if you want to hold Baba's hand tight, that is, you want to follow Srimad always, then there has to be truth inside. There has to be love for Baba. And there has to be this firm faith that this is Baba and I am his child. And Baba says, and when you hold Baba's hand, then Maya will be defeated. So, everybody wants to feel protected, safe. Every child wants protection and security from Baba. But that protection and security from all the acts of Maya will come when you hold Baba's hand tight. And whenever you do not follow Srimad, whether it is Srimad of thought, Srimad of words, Srimad of actions, then you deplete your spiritual energy and then Maya takes over you. Yes, so if you want to defeat Maya, you have to be very firm on Srimad. And if you start doing what that sister did, which is, not attending the class or not coming for bhakti because Maya defeated you, then you left Baba's hand. So Maya defeated you once and then you left Baba's hand by not following Srimad. So if you want to bounce back, you have to hold on to Srimad. Baba has given you the Srimad of Amrit Vela, class, pure food, celibacy, pure thought, good feelings. So come what may, don't leave this. Because you know that ultimately Baba is the truth, and only when you listen to him and do as he says, there'll be success. So when you hold Baba's hand firm, then you will be able to, cross over the challenges that Maya gives you. Otherwise, Maya will defeat you once and then you give up. You give up on Baba, you leave Baba's hand, you start creating weak thoughts, words and actions, and then Maya just pulls you and takes you, to the dungeons of hell. So Baba says that, in fact this is Mama talking, so Mama says that if you hold Baba's hand tight, which is when you're true and firm with Baba, you're true and firm in following Baba's Srimad, then Maya will be defeated. And it is a law that as much as you belong to Baba, Maya will become more and more powerful. But if you hold Baba's hand tight, then you will always be more powerful than Maya. Okay? Om Shanti.